Ryan, where are we going next?
Well, we were just talking about putting a student into a pre-built class.
Yes.
But you know what? What if I want to do my own custom class?
Ooh.
What if I want to use Mike Holt's books and to build my own? What if I want to kind of pick and choose? What if
This
I
is
wanted
going to be, Ryan, I have a company.
Okay.
I've got some guys that are no longer apprentices. Matter of fact, they might even be licensed journeymen or masters. I'm going to do some kind of a job. I don't know. I'm going to do a bunch of grounding and bonding. I'm going to do grounding and bonding. And it's a particular kind, and I want to build some stuff out of the grounding and bonding book and have my guys maybe complete it before the end of the week so that I can go to the job and my guys all know at least the code rules before we start working on the job. So let's get into the capacitor and do it.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to go over here to new class right here. I'm on classes, but if I wasn't, I would click classes. I'm going to go into new class. Class Builder is going to open up. Now, again, same fields. Everything's the same. It's just this time we're making it new. And I'm going to say this is my demo bonding for the job. Okay, so there's my bonding class. And I have to pick an instructor. And I could pick me or you. I'm going to pick me. Yeah, why not? Location, now that's not required, right?
Yes,
but if I had multiple states or if I'm a school and I've got multiple campuses, I could put this in here and that shows up in some of the reporting so that I'm able to do some stuff there. And then I think this is pretty important here, Ryan. Correct me if I'm wrong. This begins on and ends on. So this is the date the class starts.
Yes, sir.
And I can do it as far in the future as I want. And if this date is not actually selected correctly, nobody can work.
Correct.
I'm going to pick today so that my students can go to work today. And then the ends on date, again, click the little calendar button, and that's when it's got to be done. And I'm going to say, hey, they got to be done by Friday, so I'm going to pick the end of the week, and this is, we're in January of 2025 here. And then that's it, right?
Hey, Brian, one more thing about this screen.
Okay.
Begin and end on dates.
Sure.
What time of day does the begin start, and what time of day does the end date end?
Oh, okay. That's a great question, actually. And this has caused a little bit of stress lately. We actually changed this around, and correct me if I'm wrong here. The begins on is at 12 a.m., so the first minute of the day. So this, in this case, would be this morning at 12 a.m., so it's active. The ends on is 11:59 p.m. on the date that's selected. So begins at 12 a.m. on the 28th, ends at 11:59 p.m. on the 31st, but this is dependent on time zone. So mine is going to be Eastern, but if I'm in, let's say, California, and I didn't set my time zone in the profile like we talked about, then this is going to be off by 3 hours. So just, yeah, that's a very, very good, important thing to remember there. Okay, so I'm back here at Class Builder, and I'm going to just click Next. Now, again, everything works the same, so search works the same, but I got my student list, in this case only 2 students. I'm going to go ahead and enroll both of them, just because they're both there. I'm going to click Next. Now here's where it gets interesting, and that is that you can select from whatever is available to you. Now, Ryan, the way that works is they have to purchase a package, and that includes an instructor license and student books. Now, once they're set up as an institution, there's nothing special that needs to happen in the capacitor because they're buying these capacitor packages. So I happen to have all of, this is an apprenticeship institution, so I have all of the books. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to select bonding and grounding. It's going to open up everything that's available inside of bonding and grounding. And then I decided, hey, I want 250, 300, maybe a little bit of MC cable, some 330, and I don't know, FMC and wireways. And I've selected all those. They're all checked green. They're all highlighted. I'm going to return to my subject list. At this point, if I chose to, I could pick some other subjects as well if they were available to me, if it's books that I had purchased through the capacitor. And there's a big list. And then I'm going to hit Next. And this is going to take me to a summary screen. And this summary screen, I just want to check everything. Here's the titles, correct, the instructor's correct, begins on, ends on. Notice I've got a little pencil here so I could edit anything in this section. I've got my students, little pencil here. I could add or remove students. And if you needed to remove one, just a little shortcut right here, you just click the X and we can take them out of the class. And then assignments, And it's kind of cool right here. Here's a list of the assignments, but let's say I wanted to reorder them. Well, I could theoretically maybe cover chapter 3 stuff first and then get into Article 250 actual bonding and grounding stuff just by dragging and dropping this around in here. And when I save it, we now have our demo bonding and grounding for the job. And if I click on view class, it's exactly what I built with me as the instructor and my students enrolled. And Ryan, here's a really cool thing. They got an email that said, you just got enrolled in demo bonding and grounding for the job. So as the instructor, I don't have to do anything other than build it, enroll them. Everything else is automatic. All right.
And
so what else have we got?
Well, actually, if you go back to that screen you're just on.
Sure.
I noticed green check marks on the left-hand side next to every assignment.
Why don't you tell us about that,
Okay.
Ryan?
Sure thing. So those green check marks are a very simple way for you to turn assignments on and off for the students inside that class. So if for some reason, maybe you didn't want them to do all of those assignments, had them all available, maybe you just want to turn them on one per day, well, you can just turn them all off and release them as you want to for your students.
All right, that's fantastic. Anything else on this screen before we jump off?
No, sir.
All right.